have you ever lied during an interview? Have you ever, God forbid, lied to me in our many conversations, gentlemen?
All the time. I don't think there's an ounce of truth in anything I've said, ever. I'm living a lie. I'm living a whole lie. I think I'm visible. I think people can see me. They can't.
It's good to see you both. Congrats, gentlemen. This is the duo I didn't know I needed in my life. Here we are. Zac Efron, John Cena. It's happening.
I like hearing that. That means you enjoyed the movie.
I did. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed this combo in all variations. Talk to me a little bit about how this combo came together, because in my copious research, I actually found there's a 2010 photograph of you two together. Teen Choice Awards. Is that where this collaboration began, whether you knew it or not?
I mean, you can't have a story without the first step, and that is, I believe, our first meeting.
That was.
Yes, that was a long time ago. I mean, man, we're talking almost 15 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, that would probably be the first time we met. And I'd like to say, yeah, that's our origin story. We knew one day this would happen. We just had to wait almost 15 years for it to happen.
I think it's safe to say at that point, both of us were like, we're never going to be here in a couple of years.
That's, you know what? That's yes. So internally, I'm saying exactly that. It's okay. That's all right. What a long, strange trip it's been, right?
We're very grateful, man. It's been unreal.
Yeah, everybody needs a good meet cute story, and that's yours. Teen Choice Awards. It makes sense. There it is. Congratulations on Ricky Stanicky, guys. This is from Peter Farrelly. If you're going to get in business with somebody making kind of a throwback R-rated comedy, this is the guy to do it with. Does this, I mean, is part of the appeal of this that it does recall the comedies that you guys maybe grew up loving?
Great perspective. For me, yes. But if someone didn't grow up with those comedies, and we've been hearing this a lot, like, wow, it's a great throwback to like the 90s or 2000s hard R comedy. I think that one of Peter's strongest assets, along with the ability to tell an amazing story, is his courage and bravery. And when he commits to an R-rated script, he commits to the script. And he knows in his ability to tell a story that in the end, it will have heart, it will make you think and laugh and cry, and you'll want to believe and root for these characters. And that allows him to operate under the umbrella of raunchy, hardcore, R-rated comedy, which immediately our mind goes to, man, I saw these videos growing up, because when do we try to sneak into R-rated movies when we're not supposed to? And I think that's what gives you and I that feel of nostalgia. But I don't think Peter is like stuck in a time period. I just think he's courageous.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's brave enough to be like, this needs to be R, we need to do it this way, and this is the movie I'd like to make. And I applaud him for being able to stick to his guns like that.
Yeah, it's a difficult puzzle to solve, and he's always finds a way to showcase the heart with humor.
Yes.
Do you guys remember respectively, like Zach, do you remember the first like R-rated comedy you saw, the one you were quoting to your friends that maybe you shouldn't have seen at the time that you were obsessed with?
I will, unfortunately, I'm gonna out my dad here. I saw back-to-back in a double feature at 5 years old, Blazing Saddles and the Kentucky Fried Movie. And those are two movies a 5-year-old isn't necessarily ready for. I grew up a lot that day.
I saw Blazing Saddles with my grandpa.
Man, that was yes, and the rest is history, and that's why he laughs at all my jokes and then says I'm crazy, because I am.
That Dumb and Dumber was a big one for me, man.
Oh man, so it must be amazing to have this collaboration with Peter now.
Yeah, it is, and you can also, it's crazy to when you spend time with Pete and you talk with him, and especially when you're being directed by him, you can see and feel his voice then in all of the movies in the past. It's like he'll come up and give you a note, and you just start cracking up because it sounds so familiar and a bit nostalgic. You know,
and man, like, forget his skill set, like all the wisdom he has. When he gives you a note, he'll give you it with wisdom, and you're like, oh yeah, that checks out. Okay, I'll try it.
Yeah. You want him on your team, man.
Zach, I mean, we've talked so many times over the years about some of your great comedies. I'm curious, like, what felt like a bigger leap for you at the time? Was it 17 Again? Was it Neighbors? Like, do you remember feeling a little bit out of your depth at the time on any of those films before you found a comfort level with comedy?
Oh man, I to be honest, I think that every time, that's the fun in it, I think, and part of the process and part of trusting the process is working outside your comfort zone, and all of those experiences, you know, whether it was Neighbors, 17 Again, I was working with really, really great people, and the team around me was I was just able to sort of watch and immerse myself in, and so I was surrounded by really, really funny, supportive people in those filmmakers. So I've always been really blessed with that. So yeah, I've learned from the best, and I wouldn't say it's gotten any more comfortable. It still feels.
Man, comedy's tough.
Yeah.
Comedy is super brave because you put yourself into one lane. Make me laugh.
Right.
If we do a dramatic movie that has emotions all over the place, if my goal is to make you feel sad, yet you feel angry, you still feel. If my goal is to make you feel sad and you feel happy, you still feel.
Right.
Comedy is brave because we're in one lane. Make me laugh.
Yeah, A-B, either works or it doesn't work.
It either works or it doesn't. And that's the for me, that's the nervousness of, man, we got to elicit this one emotion, this one sensation. It has to be laughter. And man, I hope what we're doing, it's making us laugh. I hope it makes the world laugh.
But the ways to achieve that are fascinating, and that's what Pete's so good at. Is he comes at it from this place of heart and honesty that's tugs you through and pulls you into the humor rather than just laughing for the joke's sake.
Yeah. Totally. John, your character Rock Hard Rod has a pretty memorable one-man Atlantic City show. I'm sure you guys have gone to some pretty awesome music, comedy performances over the years, whether it's Atlantic City, Vegas, LA, wherever. What's your all-time great concert-going experience? Like, what's the one concert event experience you've ever been to that jumps out in your lifetime? Like, I can't believe I'm here. This is a moment.
I saw Dave Chappelle and Jeff Ross in Australia while we were filming. That was unbelievable. It was just an incredible show. Trying to think what else. Yeah.
I would say, aside from WrestleMania or any WWE production, I just had the honor of being invited to join the Savannah Bananas in their exhibition at Steinbrenner, or their game at Steinbrenner Field against the Party Animals. And their audience interaction, enthusiasm, and experience absolutely blew me away.
And that's saying something with your experiences in live performances. Yeah.
It's electric over there. They got a good thing going on over there.
For those that don't know, Ricky Stanicky is this kind of made-up character from these childhood friends. This is kind of an alter ego that John's character assumes in the film. I'm curious, okay, so you're checking into a hotel over the years. Have you had a go-to alias that you've now since retired? Was there ever like an alter ego you ever went by just for the sake of anonymity?
For years, ironically, I was using Dick Hammerbush.
It's not true.
Then I went through a Don Smashmouth phase. That was very short-lived as well.
Someone's gonna put that together.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was completely irony. And then, John Cena, you got to go with it.
I was Tyler Durden for a while.
Here's a crazy thing. After we filmed this, I did a film in Atlanta and stayed in a hotel under the name John Cena. And it just happened to be a hotel where a lot of pro teams travel to. And they thought it was a fake because they thought an athlete used the name John Cena as their alias.
Oh, that's funny.
So it was like a double web of deception where I'm now someone's Dick Hammerbush.
Oh, that's amazing. Someone's thinking you're LeBron.
That's right.
And just a big Fight Club fan, Zach. Tyler Durden's a good one. I mean, he was one of the classics.
Huge. I think someone caught on to that one too. I had to X-nay that one.
Oh yeah,
it worked for a while.
I mean, you can have Dick Hammerbush. It didn't work for me.
Bring it back, man. Do you have a favorite character name either of you have ever had in your respective careers?
That's a good one too.
Honestly, John, I was going through your filmography. I feel like as great as the roles have been, your character names, like I feel like I need something, they're kind of straight-laced. They're kind of like down the middle.
Yeah, so, I mean, Ricky Stanicky is such a sticky name. I do like, I also like Rock Hard Rod. That could be like a new edition of Dick Hammerbush. Again, I'm not gonna let it die.
Yeah, you got two in this.
Peacemaker is near and dear to my heart.
Sure.
I think there's more layers to me in just that name than people are aware of. But Rock Hard Rod, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I feel like Rock Hard Rod has a professional wrestling career in his own right.
Never say never, man. Never say never.
Zach, for you, I mean, it's hard to beat the classic Troy, I guess. Is that? I mean, what's the best character name that you've had in your career, you think?
Yeah, I was thinking Troy too. Troy Bolton.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Gotta be.
TV 14.
Okay, so lying factors heavily into this one, obviously. Innocent white lies that turn into bigger lies. I'm curious, you know, do you feel like you've ever had to lie to get a role? Are you the guys that say like, yeah, I can ride a horse, I can run a triathlon? Oh,
He told that
literally
lie.
did that.
He told that lie.
I put on my resume when I was young that I could ride horses, and I got cast in a movie where I had to ride a horse.
how'd that go?
Horrible. Horrible. The horse just took off. I had no business being on him. It's a massive horse, like a racehorse.
Right.
Like we were doing like 5-foot jumps, and the thing just took off. Luckily, I was relatively small and could hold on to it, but that thing took off. No one could stop it for like 15 minutes. I was just canning it. Like, I had no chance of controlling that horse. Tried to buck me a few times. Oh my gosh.
This is a cautionary tale for any actor right there. Don't do it.
Or if you tell them you're going to do it, they'll make you do it.
Right. Oh, you can ride?
You might have to.
Yeah.
You might have to do it.
Have you ever told a co-star or friend you nailed it in that film when you, in your heart of hearts, didn't love the movie? I mean, there are all these awkward, we're in the industry, we see friends, we see folks, and you want to be nice and supportive, and sometimes,
Oh, interesting.
So you used two words there that I think are important: nice and supportive.
Right.
And I think you can do that without going outside your value system. You can be supportive to somebody,
Right.
and you can be nice to somebody, and you can you get a sense of where they're at, and if the support they need from you is that support, sure, you can give them that, and that's a way to be nice. But there's a whole lot more ways to be nice and supportive without having to fabricate something.
Right.
Yeah. I think there's also certain people you go to that you always want honesty from, and Pete's one of those guys. Pete will always tell it to you straight. And that's one of the reasons he's so fun to work with as an actor, is because you don't have to dance around. There's no ego involved.
Right.
Pete will come to you and tell you what he likes, what he doesn't like, what's working, what's not, and if you're going further or getting closer to where you need to be. And he'll be very blunt about it. He's not past giving a line reading.
No, not
either,
at all.
Which is great.
Oh,
I love
really?
that.
And you're okay with that, the line reading?
Guy knows what he wants. I dig that.
It's awesome. It's like, it's just cuts to the chase, man. You can get a lot out of it.
Right.
And there's no one better at it than Pete.
Have you ever lied during an interview? Have you ever, God forbid, lied to me in our many conversations, gentlemen?
All the time. I don't think there's an ounce of truth in anything I've said, ever.
I'm gonna reevaluate. I'm gonna go back to the tape, John. I can't believe it.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm living in a lie. I'm living a whole lie. I think I'm visible. I think people can see me. They can't.
A lot of people, I feel like, track this movie for the first time, John, from paparazzi shots of you in kind of the portion of what became the Britney Spears ensemble in the film. So those shots get out. Do you get texts and calls from friends and family being like, what's up, buddy? What's going on?
So there was it's a long lens photo of a partial outfit, and I think, given without context, which it was, hey, this person's in Australia doing something, and this is how they're going about their day, leads everyone up to their interpretation. Well, this is what I think happened. This is what I think is happening. I kind of enjoyed that. I think I lean into those moments of people are talking about the film before we even are promoting it or before they've even seen it. So, it drums up relevance about the film, and it gets people aware. We're not an established IP, so that any bit of talk helps. And I also believe in what we have. So I know when the rubber hits the road and people start seeing stuff, they'd be like, oh, that's what it was.
Most of it was just like, God, this is gonna be a sexy movie.
That's the articles he was writing.
On his blog.
Yeah.
I was most of them.
He has a bunch of pen names. Dick Hammerbush is one of them.
Do you guys feel like you have a semblance of a fight scene? It's more of like a scuffle. It's not a full-on, we're not talking out and out fight. Is that as challenging in some ways to have a little bit of a scuffle as a full-on Fast and Furious kind of fight?
I think it's so much more challenging because you have to limit yourself, and you have to limit yourself in the parameters of what the story calls for. Mm-hmm. If we throw down and kick each other's ass, that's fine for him. If you see the movie, that doesn't connect with me.
Yeah.
It would be going completely out of character just to self-serve my own ego that's not the person in the movie that I'm trying to get you to believe in. So if anything, it's tougher because you have to take tools away from yourself, and you have to say, we've built this person to be fearful, depressed, reluctant to trust people, has no friends, is down and out, like always looking over their shoulder. And then this guy becomes a fighter, a wrestler, like a master of martial arts. That doesn't mesh. Like,
Right.
that doesn't mesh at all. So you kind of, that's a situation where you got to take tools out of your tool belt and be like, well, what works for the character and story?
And it was a well-constructed scene on both sides of that like scuffle. It's like the scene work was more the battle.
Yeah,
Right.
And then you end up getting a lot of great gravity from that. You know, like
It was the restraint from the film.
yeah.
Yeah. You're like waiting for it to happen, but it's not.
I do want to mention this is the first time I'm seeing you, Zac, since Iron Claw, and what an amazing performance. I mean, nothing speaks to the breadth of your career and what you're able to do to go from Iron Claw to something like this. And I know John was at the premiere. It must mean the world to you to have someone like John who's so steeped in the wrestling world at the Iron Claw premiere. What was it like going through that whole experience and then seeing folks like John come out for you?
It was amazing seeing him at the premiere. He texted me. He was like, well, actually, I came straight from Iron Claw over to Australia to shoot Ricky Stanicky, and it's weird when you film a movie. As soon as it's over, especially when you move on to one rather quickly, the experience, you kind of forget about it, and you're very focused on the next task at hand. And I didn't really talk about the process of making the Iron Claw with anyone, and we just kind of rocked straight into filming and into this next chapter, next character. And John was the first person to really approach me and like ask about the film and how it went, and it like snapped me into this memory we had made the Iron Claw.
I had seen some photos of him while they were in production, and it's a movie about sports entertainment and the Von Erichs, which is a very identifiable time in sports entertainment. And man, I was excited to just talk to him about it and to learn, Chavo Guerrero worked with him, who I've worked with in the ring. We immediately shared a bunch of experiences just based on that. I was very excited for the movie, and I was super excited for you in the movie because the movie rocks and it's awesome, and you crush in the movie. So it's great to see a wonderful depiction of sports entertainment.
Yeah.
That's very hard to do.
It was cool because we knew we had something in common. We had both been what do you call it, the canvas.
Yes, we've both taken a bump.
A bump or two, I would imagine, yeah. I don't want this collaboration to end. John, can you put in a good word? If there's any man meant to be a Ken in a Barbie sequel, come on, let's get Zac in there.
I would then be lying to you saying I actually have pull and stroke and can make those decisions. Those choices are so above my weight class. I mean, we'll see. I hope, man, I hope.
Aren't we all? Isn't that the message? Isn't that the?
I don't know. I mean, whatever you take away from the movie. I'm with you. I want something like this to happen again.
Me too. Sign me up.
Amazing. You guys are both Knuff, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure. Next time in person, congrats on the movie.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
Good to see you guys. Have a good one.
See you soon. Thank you, brother.